apparently a community-made format that's picking up a little bit of steam. It looked pretty cool, and I get to
Announcement
play...
received.
Oh god, I gotta turn that down, I apologize. Probably busted somebody's ear. But yeah, get a chance to play some cool old cards. I have no idea about the meta of this format or anything. You can go to MTG Melee and go to Mythic Society and look it up. There's a ban list. Like Goblins, Survival, Fluctuator. There's some rock decks. Also, the Mythic Society website has a tier sheet for anybody who's wanting to look up more information. Blue Green Madness. Like, there's a ton of decks in this format. But either way, win, lose, or draw, it should be fun, and we get to play some Odies, which is awesome. So the event's starting now. We should get a match fairly soon, then we'll have to contact our opponent. Goblin Lackey's legal in this format, so like you can do some crazy things. I want to play like a Wrath of God Humility deck just because of that. I'm obsessed with thinking Fluctuators insanely good, which is the reason I wanted the 4 and 0 deck as well, even though I imagine the blue decks are already fairly good. Phyrexian, there's a Turbolands deck as well. I don't know. Anyway, we have our opponent, and our opponent is playing... I pulled their deck list over, but they're playing, like I said, they're playing a Survival of the Fittest Recurring Nightmare deck. A lot of good value cards here. Hopefully these furnaces will be lit. Anyway, our opponent's name is Anna, and we will message Anna and say hello. We have to send them an invite. They have checked in, so they are here. So challenge player, watchers allowed, sure. Skill level, just for fun. Format, 3 form. And deck required, boom. Well, they're not responding, so we'll just start with this and see if they accept. Alright. Ready to go. And there'll be 40-minute clocks here, but this event is like every other event with 25-minute clocks on MTGO, so at either point either of us get the 15 minutes, we just lose. And we'll keep this hand. This hand would be a lot better on the play, obviously, because our mana leak could be able to hit something lit. And by something lit, I mean survival. Force of Will is banned in this format. Between survivals and recurring nightmares, I may even bring in the nulls here. I have a lot of creatures for us to worry about too. Yeah. Touche, it is already on. Already on has been called. So they'll probably go get a squee and then start just valuing us to death. We have 1 Dismantling Blow and 1 Disenchant in our main deck. guess that's fun. I kind of like the art of that. I like the original art more, but that's because I'm weird. We could just go ahead and take this. I think I will. Let's start with a standstill. Might be a little early to actually play that. We have a fact of fiction and an impulse in our hand. And I doubt they want to crack it for a turn or two anyway. Yeah, I actually think me playing the standstill was a mistake. So there's the squee. Goodbye to the squee. So this turn they can resolve like an avalanche rider. Yeah, playing the standstill is a huge mistake. But for that matter, for every turn the rest of the game, they're going to get to kill a big spell. So like we desperately have to find a disenchant stat. That's not a disenchant. Go ahead and kill this. Don't want them doing any shenanigans about recurring it or whatever. And I'm not going to play that one. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure the last one I played was even wrong. So what did they get this turn? Potentially a Genesis. Maybe just something to get more lands, like a Yavimaya Elder. I'm guessing an Elder. So they can get their swamp now. That's fine. It's a bit disappointing. Hopefully our mana leak's not great here. Well, hopefully they don't have another one. Because I still think I have to kill that. So you know they have a squee and two unknown. But they also have the Yavimaya Elder itself. So they have a bunch of cards. Probably should have played out a card waste there. I wonder if I actually do want the Phyrexian Furnaces. Or if I just want like the Disenchant, the Seal Cleansing, maybe a couple of Nulls and a Humility. Probably don't want the Humility. Because of cards like this. So we're pretty far away from that being useful. We have a really high life total, so we've got some things to work with. I still have the Yavimaya Elder though. I think I'd be in a lot better shape if I hadn't made my player earlier. Masticore. That says regenerate, right? And regenerate doesn't matter to Wrath of God, which is what I'm trying to draw, so I think I'm just going to let them have it. Rip. Could have tapped my mana better, I guess. Probably take whatever pile gives us the STP. Nice. I kind of want lands to put in their hand. We'll take the ones with the lands. Go ahead and use this. So we're still drawing the 3 Wrath of Gods, and we have a few turns. So they'll be discarding the Squee, which is kind of lit. Squee's really cool. So they know about this. We'll just go ahead and do that. Can almost start attacking them. Can't let that resolve. It is just too quick of a clock. Oh, we might get value off of this mana leak at this turn of the game? That feels pretty good. FYI, they can still pay for it. Right? Or is this just once a turn? It's just once a turn. Decent. I was wrong. Can't pay for it. You know, I think we're in a spot where we can stand still again. We can block both of their things. Or we could Swords of the Plowshare as well, but so this is newly controlled, right? Yeah. It's kind of weird that it bounced off. Tap my mana poorly. Should have definitely left 2 blue up in case they pop this and we hit a counter spell. It was a big mistake. Now if they draw a Recurring Nightmare or a Survival, we're going to be in a really rough spot. Well, we get to start attacking now. For whatever that's worth. Also messed up again. I should have clearly used a plains. For some reason, I thought that said 0-2. I have very bad eyesight. Again, that's my fault. I should have taken the time to do this instead of just assume I can read. That's on me. Yeah, but that's a pretty bad mistake by me. Well, when I say bad mistake, like obviously that wasn't a bad mistake in terms of impacting the game. I mean it's a bad mistake because it was an unforced error that I 100% should have been able to play around by just looking a little bit closer instead of assuming that my eyes saw what I thought they saw. Oh. I thought our opponent was in a spot where they might be able to come back to that game. I'm kind of surprised about that concession. Huh. Yeah, so how do we want to sideboard? We definitely want all of this stuff. I think there's an argument for this, there's an argument for these, and there's an argument for these. I'll pull this over to where we can all see the sideboard and their deck. I think I'm not going to go with the annuls because the annuls are obviously insane versus these cards. But I think there's a high enough percentage of game. I don't know. Maybe I need the annuls on the draw. I'm trying to think if like sometimes these annuls are just so dead, but I think I'm gonna let them come in on the draw. I don't think I'm gonna play the humility. cut some of these because we have these. Probably trim on one of you. But I definitely don't want to draw one of you early. We'll try this. Maybe I need a couple more counter spells, but I don't know. We have sweepers. Fortunately, our blue source comes into play tap, so they're still live to just jam onto, but I don't think I can mulligan this hand. The old BOP Arini. I'm almost going to play this now. That way at least I can disenchant it if they have it. Yep. So I think I let them go into their next turn with it. And the reason I'm thinking about that is because of not wanting to lose a land to Avalanche Rider. If they don't get an Avalanche Rider here, I may rethink my decision and just smash that, but Avalanche Rider would be so brutal that I don't know that I can allow this. Yeah, that's pretty similar in this spot. It's their land getter. Probably. Oh. Well, that's just going to resolve. So they have a squee and an unknown, and then they're getting another thing. They're clearly going to activate that, so I'm going to wait until they do, and then we're going to disenchant. And then we have a null if they have a recurring or a second survival. Our land at this point is less relevant, though obviously we don't want to get rid of it. We're leaving the flooded strand on top so they can't like main phase, or sorry, we didn't sack this and we played this over the plains because like if they turn one the one thing, and then like, you know, target our untapped land, even if we float it, they could just go to their second and then resolve the survival. And that's a pretty good threat. So we know the two cards in their hand. Let's see if they pay. They may pay because it's a quick clock. They may not pay too because they might want to just resolve the Avalanche Rider. This is kind of interesting. Do I just take one big hit of 9? Or do I prevent 4 of it? I really want to resolve the fact or fiction, but I'm just going to take it and resolve the fact or fiction. I need to make sure I hit a land next turn. We'll probably take whichever pile has multiple lands. Impulse and 2 basics would be heavenly at the moment. I found a Wrath stat though. It's still 3-turn clock. And it's more than that really, because we know they have an Avalanche Rider in hand, and we know that they have a Squee. Plus they'll probably be able to add something to the board at some point somewhere over some rainbow. Can find a counterspell potentially here. Or I guess we just take this. Alright, opponent, you get to kill it all. Yep. So they still have a Squee in hand and an unknown. I had F6 pressed. I had F6 pressed. I had F6 pressed. Oh, I punted this game. I lost this game. So annoyed at myself. So annoyed at myself over that. Could have killed ourselves. We know they have a Squee. There's nothing we can do about the Squee. Now they get to kill a land, and now they get to attack us, and then they get to resolve a second recurring nightmare. I'll tap it for the YOLOs. Obviously they get to attack. I just played so bad I deserve to lose. Played so bad I deserve to lose. That's kind of interesting. Should definitely have an extra land right now, and I should have an extra 5 mana. Or, sorry, 2 life. Shouldn't have the null in my hand, though. Yeah, well, we're we're behind closed doors now. Excuse me. So we know they have a squee. Don't think I'm gonna kill any other lands. Don't see anything that has 2 red that I think I care about, so. Well, I have nothing of value. Unfortunately, I get to see my hand and know that we're in bad trouble. So if I was at 5 life, how much better would this have been, or worse would this have been? Well, looks like we've got one more turn, no matter what. So I need to draw a Decree or a Wrath. That was a very good draw. Making 2 4/4s doesn't seem as good as just clearing the board. Fortunately, that means we're not going to be able to get rid of the squee. Alright, so cycle this. So this is for 4, and this leaves up an annul for the big thing, and an STP. I think 4 is enough. And that's a problem. The fourth Swords of Plowshare says that's not a problem. I want to go ahead and do it before they can sack it to Cabal Therapy. Do you think I want to play this in the main phase? Because I believe I would play a Standstill if I get one. Hey, Blade Ogre, what's up? Yep, playing a little Standstill today in Premodern. I punted this game pretty hard earlier, and I believe it cost me a Swords to Plowshare 5 life, and let me keep this annulled that I don't really need, but yeah, I guess that resolves. Honestly, I don't know. I'd have to just link it to you. I think it's like maybe 2005 up until modern or something. That's a real card. Huh. It's the first time I've ever played this format, so can't ever use YouTube. So we do have one absorb in our deck, so we can turn these fetches back on maybe later. We're definitely gonna take the counter spell. I wonder if I'm supposed to be playing to not die now. Opponents, we only have 15 minutes on these clocks. So opponents down to about 6 minutes, and there is a third game. So that being said, maybe I'm supposed to play around Cabal Therapy Haster and not be attacking, but honestly that doesn't seem as fun to me. I just want to try to win. If it was untimed, I wouldn't be doing this, but we can't ever turn on the third one of those. We've broken 2 standstills this game, or just one? Alright, 2. 8 more turns at this rate. If we have time between the rounds, I'll try to pull up the entire actual set list. Opponent needs to draw a Genesis. I think I'm going to stop attacking the factory now that they kept a second card in their hand. I guess attacking with the factory is irrelevant, isn't it? Because if they do draw the Avalanche Rider, they kill the factory anyway. Yeah, I'm not very bright. they do draw the rider though, we can still potentially impulse into a decree. We discard 2 cards. There's no counter spell I can hit, so that's fine. Alright, well, we're going to use this. Why is it not giving me priority? Oh, I messed up. I was supposed to leave 1 wide untapped. Oh. Alright, well, we got it. They only had a little under 4 minutes to win a game 3 if it did happen. But we're going to need to play a little bit tighter in the following rounds. So, talking to my opponent on the other monitor, it was a pretty cool game. Survival Squee is so awesome. I think I made quite a few errors that I potentially could have played differently, though. But that's the first time we're playing this format and the first time we're playing this deck, so obviously can't expect to play perfectly. I don't even know if I expect to play well. Alright, let's try to look up what this format is. It's precisely for Matt, if you care. So, it's Premodern. Premodern is a community-created constructed format consisting of sets from 4th edition to Scourge. The card pool is thus roughly spans the periods between the formats 93-94 and Modern. A rule of thumb for the card pool is all the cards with old frames printed between 1995 and 2003, which were standard legal at some point during this period. See all the lists of legal sets here, or you can browse the entire card pool over here. So you can just go to MTG Melee and look up Mythic Society for that. But yeah. So, 4th edition to Scourge, but they are a ban list, and the ban list is a lot of the best things are banned. You know, Balance is banned, Brainstorm's banned. Obviously, Earthcraft has to be banned. Channel, Tomb, Grim Monolith, Force of Will, you know, Mana Vault, Memory Jar, Mind Twist, Mystical Tutor, Mind's Desire, Necropotence. Just some of the big cards. Strip Mine, Show and Tell, Time Spiral, Tolarian Academy, Vampiric Tutor, Yawgmoth's Will, Bargain, World Gorger Dragon, and Windfall. But there are still some combos in the format, but these are just the combos that Goblin Recruiter. Goblins is a real deck, so they have to ban Recruiter. But yeah, so these are the legal sets. 4th edition, Ice Age Chronicles, Homelands, Alliances, Mirage. I'll go ahead and send this to you on your Facebook as well, because I don't know if you're still here even listening. So, oh, you are there. Never mind. Well, I still sent it to you in case you cared. Apparently, yeah. I mean, and I believe, and I could be wrong, but I do believe this is probably what's called the best deck in the format. Um, Also, not sponsored at all. However, let me pull up another website real quick. The people that are sponsoring this tournament are the mythicstore.com, and if you ever want to know anything about their special formats, you can literally go here and like read their news about the new events that they're posting and stuff like that. But Pascal Maynard often posts about metagames, so like for the pre-modern, like there's all sorts of deck. Yeah, this is Pascal, which I believe is somebody you told me you knew from school events. Um, I believe that's what you told me, but I won't swear. So like even in the set roulette thing that he had, where they wrote, "Oh, you lived in Canada for a summer. You never told me that you lived there. You definitely never told me you lived there. You told me you visited, but you never told me you lived there." But anyway, long story short, so like even their set roulettes, like he always posts, what he expects the metagame to be with some example decks and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. So like for this pre-modern, and I'd like to post a caveat that he said he's not actually played a pre-modern match. This is just from the research that he has did. They have a weekly show as well on their Twitch channel. But Landstill, Stasis, Pattern of Rebirth, Rector, and Blue White Replenish is what he considers his tier A's. He doesn't use tier S, but then like there's Turbo Lands, there's Stifle Knot, there's Sakatog, and all of these lists he has example decks for. So like if you want to click the Turbo Lands deck, um, you can just see all the cards, Horn of Greeds, etc. So, but yeah, so he always does this for all of these cool events. And then there's even things like elves and goblins, and the goblins deck's actually pretty good. Like all of these decks are competitive. The goblins deck, well, the website it's linking's not wanting to work, but presumably it'll load in a second. But the goblin deck, like goblin lackey and stuff, are legal in this format. So yeah, so like goblin lackey's legal, which is pretty ridiculous. Goblin war chief. There's no effort ball or anything, but like it's still a really strong deck. Um, this Terrageddon deck won a tournament not long ago. There's a counter rebel deck. Like, just if you played back then, it's like all the throwback decks, which are pretty awesome. So anyway, I highly recommend the Mythic Society. You get to play Werebears and Terravors. Yeah, so our next round is going to be starting in a moment. But yeah. So you get a lot of events for your $5 Twitch sub here. There's a 1K historic at the end of this month. Like, I highly recommend going to their Twitch chat and the MTG Melee and signing up for their events. They're pretty awesome. Tomorrow I'll be playing a historic trial on here. I'm not 100% sure whether I'll be streaming it or not. I've not actually played any best of 3 historic since, except for Gruul. So like, and it's, they banned a key card from it. But don't know how I'm going to feel about Goblins because Effergust is so good, but Goblins is what I was originally going to play tomorrow. I think the Golos decks might be just a turn or two too slow. Like, I think you can climb a ladder with it, but I think it'd be hard to win tournaments with it consistently. But like, it's another thing I want to try. But yeah. So, pretty cool. Oh crap, I can't see my chats over here. I don't know if I'm getting any... Okay, I'm not. Still talking to my last round opponent. They seem quite pleasant. So there'll be a few minutes between these rounds. Something cool to send my friend Sean. So, wondering if my website's lagging out or something. Let me hit refresh over here. Oh, apparently it has. Alright, so this round we are playing versus another awesome deck. We're playing versus 4 Meddling Mages, 3 Psychotogs, 4 Quirion Dryads, 2 Armageddons, Mox Diamonds. Just a heck of a cool deck. Misdirections in the sideboard, Winter Orb. This deck could be an issue, but should be fun nonetheless. See which one of us hosts. And the MTG Melee program that we're using right now actually will send alerts to your phone or play sounds for your speakers, but I have that stuff turned off so not to harass the stream itself. So that's why it's a little harder for me to notice when the round starts than like it would be if you played. We go ahead and remove our last opponent from our friends list. Premodern Standstill, accept. Not forget to do this. Alright, so we get our matchup. Good luck, have fun. Yeah, we're going to mulligan this pretty clearly. Yeah, I think this is an accept, and they have some like Mox Diamonds in their main deck, but that's the only thing worth killing, and so I'm going to go ahead and dump the Dismantling Blow. Because if they do happen to have a Mox Diamond, obviously we want to kill it sooner rather than later. The very pretty sleight of hand. So what kind of counter spells do they have? Absolutely days. They have 3 counter spells, 4 days. I always thought Peak was an underutilized card. Like, if Gataxian Probe was broken, like, Peak has to at least be playable, right? Probably take our STP. Since they could have days, we're going to wait and just hold up our mana leak or our impulse to try to hit another land. We don't want them just to play their land back for 3. Probably impulse and look for a land, because if we hit the land, then we don't have to worry about the days for now. Also, land gets us closer to Wrath of God. My mouse is struggling a bit, it feels like. So I really want this coastal tower, but I also really want this Mishra's Factory. Mishra's Factory will stop their aggression from this in a turn. But I also wanted to come into play tapped land so that we could play around the days that we know that they have. Well, sorry. Not that we don't know that they have a days. I misspoke. Might have been better for me to take a point of damage there and hold up the factory, but a little worried of Fire and Ice, I guess. I'd probably trade this factory just straight for this meddling mage. And maybe that's just insane. They don't really have any removal in the main deck, other than the Fire and Ices, so. Yeah, I'll probably just cycle a Decree of Justice. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out based on what they do. Do really want another land, but don't quite think it's worth wasting. That's actually a pretty good card in this match. I believe that is a. They could have a. They probably have a counter spell. Land? Hmm. Looking for a land. Definitely going to use that EOT. Bum, 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 bum. No attacky. So do they have any way if we resolve humility to get humility off the board? Doesn't appear so. Fire and Ice is the card that they have. So they're tapping that for green. Okay. Sure. So they have a counterspell potentially. Might be a little too aggressive making those. Try to get rid of their red and or green mana. It may have been better just to resolve the humility, but I think I can resolve the humility on a later turn. I'm not necessarily sure if that is a difficult thing. I'm pretty sure I can just resolve humility now. Guess I could have 3 dazes. And a counterspell. Yep, don't care about you drawing cards. We can do that on a later turn as well. We don't have to do that now. Okay. Is it bad that I'm starting to just look at the sideboards now? As long as we don't get Armageddon, I think we have this. I think we beat Armageddon now as well. We did draw really well. I mean, we've thrown off 3 decrees in our 1 of humility and our top 21 cards. While our opponent's still just not really playing that many lands. probably should have sent a factory here, but okay. We got game one. I'll pop that over there. And we're certainly going to bring in Humility versus the Meddling Mages and the Sakatogs. Kinda want more counter spells, but I don't have access to any more counter spells. I think Dismantling Blow is just worse than Disenchant, and I don't even know that I want Disenchant. But they have a Sylvan Library and a Winter Orb to go with their Mox Diamonds. So, like, maybe I do. Don't think a Null's good enough. It's something I'd consider on the draw, but I don't think I want to consider it on the play. Sorry, I said that backwards. Something that I would consider on the play, because the card I most want to hit with is Mox Diamond, but then that's too late. So what would the last card I side out be? I think I want all my removal. I want a collection of Humilities and stuff. I think they get on the board quicker than I do, so maybe it's just Standstill. Keep sideboarding out one Standstill. I don't know if that's right. This hand's fine. We don't have any of our big cards, but it's still fine. And by big cards, I mean Swords of Plowshares, Humilities, Wrath of Gods. Yep, and this is one of the reasons that I would consider a null on the play, but I don't want it on the draw. Because it's already too late. There's a Meddling Mage. I think we pass here. May not disenchant the Mox this time. I am going to try to counterspell that, though. This may or may not resolve. Hmm. Opponent does have, as we've already previously stated, they have dazes, misdirections, things of that nature, so. Definitely going to play this one. Leaves us access to a potential absorb. Also disenchant the Mox Diamond. See what opponent plays. Well, we'll try to absorb that. That kills fairly quick. Hmm. Well, they didn't counterspell that, so we're just going to do this. That's every card that we want. Interesting. Kind of feel like I want to take the top pile. I think the top pile gives us outs, so then we're resolving Armageddon this turn. If I had 2 white, I would have taken the bottom pile, but not having 2 white's an issue. We'll trade the factory for some things out of the graveyard or whatever. We gotta whittle them down. Yep. Okay, now that one's actually a problem. So I need this at some point. So we'll take a big hit next turn. And then hopefully get this Wrath of God off. They land again and we lose. They have a counterspell, we basically lose. Think this is worth it? Actually, I think I need to play this now too. And then we have this Decree in their hand. Anything they play pops this. So looking pretty good here. So we need to get this game over with as soon as possible because they do have Fire Nasties in their deck, so they can just burn us out. They also have Armageddon, though Armageddon's not something we're that worried about. Pretty sure I'm fine with that. I'm not going to play in today's. It's fine. We win this race as is, and I'm going to be adding things to the stack, so. So we'll have to see what happens here. Can't even attack really. We can just block with the factory if we want. Sure. Okay. So they still have 2 islands. And and we got it. GG opponent. Their deck is cool. Their deck is definitely a deck I would play in another one of these events. Like, they struggled a little with mana on round 1, but other than that, everything they were doing was really, really awesome, and it felt pretty powerful. It was just cool. I really enjoy playing these old formats and set roulette and stuff like that. Like, it's all like somewhat awesome. Anyway, there's 4 outstanding matches, so I guess we're gonna go play Historic between rounds? Wait, why'd that go away? Did I accidentally press delete? I must have pressed delete. Okay. Excuse me. If there's anybody actually in chat, what historic deck would you like to see? I always rewrote those to try to get 750 because I don't care. I can complete all of them. Always check the daily deals because that's just who I am. Oh, nothing. Uvenwald Trekker's kind of cool. I kind of actually want this Gonti. But I'm going to save my gold looking for the gold for next week's Arena Open. I guess since we got play 40 creatures, I'm going to play Best of 1 Heroic Goblins, unless somebody in chat wants me to play a different deck. Somebody in chat has a different deck that they want to see, let me know. This sounds silly good. We just need to find a Muxus or a Goblin Matron. If we don't find those, then this hand gets significantly worse very quickly. Let me attack so I can F6. So it looks like they might be just playing Wilderness Wreck. Hmm. So it's just 11 damage if I sack. So I think I'm just going to let it hit. So I would have had to sack this, this, and this. So this would have done 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For those wondering how I got to 11, 2 of our goblins would be off the table. And that may have been worth it, but I'm also afraid like they could have had just like a bounce spell or a removal spell and then still been at 6. 5 or 6 or whatever. So it just seems like it's better to just leave the power on the table. Because even if they have a board wipe or something on their deck, we're still just like drawing the Muxus right now. Okay. Maybe I should have did it to have the creature for the daily, but we got to play 5 either way. 5's a good number. Ooh, some Muxus draw. We're on the draw, so that's unfortunate. What we're doing might be a bit too slow because of that. Ooh, opponent's got some litness going on. Some litness. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Ooh. Opponent's gonna do us dirty. Uh, we're just no attacks. We need blockers now. The next turn we can Muxus. Hopefully we don't die this turn and we get to try to do something awesome with Muxus. Hmm. So we could definitely just sack you and put out the big Mux. But I think it's better to play you. One. Oh, Lord. Forgot about that thing. 2. 3. I forgot about that card. Or I wouldn't have made the play I just made. Kind of killed myself, I think, doing that. Yeah, I'm just dead now. This card was too good. We had the cards that we needed to combo off, but we just can't combo off because of that. So, like, normally I would sack these two, play the Krinkos, but yeah, no, our opponent's got us. I didn't quite realize the Blood Artist was going to kill me. If it counts for anything, I don't know if there's anything I could have done about the Blood Artist. I have no main deck removal. Like, I have no Gem Palm Incinerator. I have no Chain Whirler. Like, maybe I should have a Chain Whirler. I could definitely see Chain Whirlers being useful in this deck. They're in my sideboard, but we're playing best of one. A very strong hand. I really like these Godzilla lands. There's only one match outstanding in the other tournament for now, so hopefully it won't be long. This is a turn 4 Muxus. Soul Warden's pretty good. Don't think I want to offer to trade. I think I care more about my Soul Warden. Similarly, I think I'm going to pass here. Okay. This thing's getting huge. No block. It's actually a good draw in a way. Because that gives us a blocker now. Surprisingly going to get the Instigator here. It's net positive on mana. And then next turn we're going to try to go wild. That was probably a mistake though. I could have possibly supposed to get Krinko on that one. Have to evaluate what all we hit. Probably just going to get another Muxus. Maybe we're supposed to get Krinko. I want the Muxus. Because we already have a Krinko. We're giving our opponent millions of life. They could already be dead. I've not done the math. So they will be blocking 3 things at this point. I guess assume they just block 3 lords. We'd have to sacrifice one of them. So we'd be taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 10, 18. So that's not enough. So sack the Krinkos. Sack you. Sack you. Actually, gonna put you on the table first. Could just be dead. I don't know. Can't see what cards I got because of all these triggers, so. Feel like there's absolutely no way I'm dead here. But we broke the game. We literally lagged the game out. Alright, well the screen's gonna go black for just half a second. Nope, it's back. It didn't give me the ability to respond to these triggers, so I think it auto-passed my turn, even though we clearly had to win on board. On the positive note, we should still have to win next turn as well. I'll attack. Alright, hold full control so we can sack that. Whatever they block. They're full control way, so they gain no life this way. Alright, well we about lagged arena out. They have a 59-59 of Johnny's Pride Mate. They had fun there. Combo breaker. Let's play another game. Have our fun. Do our smiles. So we go first here. Hopefully don't have removal for our Klinko. Probably won't offer me that. I'm gonna take it either way. I'm kind of surprised that they offered for that. Yeah, they could have Conclave or something, which would suck for our Krinko, but hopefully they don't. Yeah, well, we're not actually worried about too much of that stuff. Just pass here. Maybe it's worth making and attacking. We only lose one, but I want to be able to set up potentially large blocks. Okay, looks like they have another Loxodon. We're definitely taking all of that. This should be game because they only have 2 blockers. Yeah. This deck's fun, but like I said, once we get to the portion where we're sideboarding and potentially have more interaction from our opponents, things like Evergust, more sweepers, etc., I'm not sure what the value of this deck goes down. Also, the the Goblin Mirror I've found feels like it's very dice roll dependent. So like maybe that's something I need to consider. But I'm gonna keep this hand. There's only one outstanding match still, but like you guys have saw or you all have saw, um, seems like there's a lot of slow decks in this pre-modern format. So no telling when we'll get to make our play. Our opponent's got the potential turn 3 Muxus. And we have turn 4 or 5 at the earliest. This hand may have just been a mulligan. I think it was strong enough versus non non mirrors that it's worth keeping, but I don't know. It's really hard to tell, Feldergriff. Feldergriffy. The There was just some bans last week, and there's not been a major event right now, so at the moment it's a little hard to tell. The things that I've been seeing, based on watching people's streams that are popping up quite a lot, there's a Song of Creation deck, an Underworld Breach deck, a Kefis deck, Goblins, two different versions of Field of the Dead that I've saw. Well, actually, technically three versions. There's a Scapeshift build of it I've saw as well. Um, there's a token deck. Um, it just plays a whole bunch of tokens and plays Transmogrify or Transmogorph or whatever. I can't win this game. We're already dead. So go ahead and scoop trans. I don't remember what it's called. Uh, but they play Lucas as well. Uh, let's just go look up the name since we're in between matches. It's trans something. Where's it at? Trans. Oh, transmorphic. No, transmography. Transmography. There we go. So like this is another deck that you see pretty often. But it's hard for me to tell you how many competitive decks there are. There's also a vampire deck with Veto that's running around. There's just all sorts of little uninteractive combo decks that I see. But like I said, I'm playing best of one. I'm not using sideboard, so it's going to be hard to tell once things shake out how many decks there'll be. We'll try this combo deck once. Actually, looks like our round has started. Uh, we'll play like 2 or 3 turns and then we'll concede. As soon as I see my opponent check in, we'll scoop. So we're versus another survival deck with Duress in the main. We didn't draw enough combo makers here, so our Creator Hoof's not going to be very special. Yeah. We're basically ready to concede. But we'll play, like I said, we'll play 3 or 4 turns. We'll play basically one more turn. We're practically dead, though, with the hand we currently have. It's kind of shocking to me that they didn't put it on the lifelink one. This is a game that would be winnable. Like, they don't have a good attack right now, and them gaining a bunch of life doesn't matter. All we'd have to do is draw, a couple more token makers, which is basically all this deck is. And then we'd have a potential chance. But yeah, we're basically dead. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and concede. We have our actual match. Yeah, the Jun sack deck is real. The regular sack deck is real. Or sorry, the red-black sack deck is real. I think both of those decks are real. I think there's a good chance that Reclamation's still just very good. Um. Anyway, so this is our opponent for our pre-modern event. We'll go ahead and get everything set back up. We lost the dice roll. That kind of sucks. Good luck. Have fun. And, well, we're going to keep this hand. We have a disenchant, we have a counterspell, and we have humility. But like I said, I'm sorry, Felder Griffey, that I can't be more specific. Like, you know, the format's about a week old. Well, a little less than a week since the bans. So it's hard to really, truly know, like, how many decks there are at the moment. At the moment, at least in Best of One, it feels like a lot of uninteractive decks going bump in the dark. Or bump in the night. Oh, cool. This is the first time I've ever played Premodern. I think it actually seems pretty lit. I've been enjoying it. Hopefully the Mythic Society will continue to do these. We played versus a pretty different build. I guess I'll pop this over. A pretty different build of Survival of the Fittest round 1. And then we're paired versus this build this round. And then last round we got paired versus Aquarian Druid, Psychotog, Meddling Mage deck that just looks super awesome. It's like I'm playing the most boring thing I've saw. Oh, apparently my alerts aren't working well, and thank you very much for the follow, Felder Griffey. It was 24 minutes ago. By the way, hello Dumbo. It's been a long time since I've saw you. I checked out your YouTube channel the other day just to see if you were still alive. I wasn't sure if you were or not. So there's only one humility in our main deck. I noticed that I never see you on Twitch anymore. They know about this mana leak, so it's going to be hard for us to get any actual value out of it. So we actually got pared down this match. We were playing for $5 store credit. Our opponent's playing for a chance to get $5. A chance to get a match for $5 store credit, sorry. Do I care about a monkey? I don't know that I care about a monkey. Life total's a resource. And all of that. Is there a squee in this build? Yeah, there's a squee, 2 Mesmeric Fiends, 2 Deranged Hermits, 1 Ranger, 1 Elder. There's a chance that I was supposed to just mana leak while I could. Here, I'll link you exactly what it is, but it's from like 1995 to 2003, I think. But they are a ban list that goes with it. So let me pull up the link and put it in chat for you. I should have this on hand. I should be more prepared instead of having to tab out to go get it. But yeah. So I think they said it was from either 4th or 5th edition until Scourge. I'm trying not to play the Mistress Factory because we know they're a 3 Avalanche Rider deck. And we're not attacking until the walls are gone anyway. I was playing some pretty basics. Definitely gonna take the Factor Fiction. Standstill. Could argue that we're in a good enough spot to play Standstill, but I think I'm gonna wait a turn and get the Factor Fiction off first. do feel like we're in basically a good enough spot to play it, though. Yeah. So we're using MTG Melee for the tournament, and the way the Mythic Society, the tournament coordinators for this event has, is they've given us open deck lists. So me and my opponent can both see our entire 75. So we know a little bit around what to play around and stuff. And the reason that they do open deck lists is because on their $1,000 tournaments and their set roulettes, they do coverage, so it's to stop from giving an unfair advantage. But basically, open deck lists. Too long didn't read. We just have open deck lists for the tournament. Yeah, there's definitely some sweet decks in this field. Also, I should have a link to their website. Their website has a tier list and stuff that we can check out. Let's see if I can find it. The Mythic store? Yeah. Metagame. Okay, so I definitely think I want the bottom pile because we already have a standstill. But so this is the sponsors of this event that I'm playing, and this is what they've written down as a tier list and stuff like that so far. Oh, did I click the wrong list? I think I clicked the wrong thing. I meant to get the Fairy Conclave in my hand. Oh well, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I wanted the Mana Leak and the Fairy Conclave in my hand, so I just clicked the wrong one. This could suck for us. Alright, so either opponent's up to no good, or they don't know how this works. And then we'll turn our guy into a 3-3. No, it's absolutely fine. I care more about the stream than I do playing perfectly anyway. Like I said, we're in a really, really good spot right now as well. So, Flame Tongue Kavoo. We'll go ahead and counterspell that. Actually, I don't want to counterspell that, do I? I'm just going to let them kill it, because if I counterspell it, they can potentially just cast a Survival of the Fittest and or a Recurring Nightmare, and then they just get to kill it anyway. So I'd rather wait till a turn to where I have even more cards up, and then do it. I am not going to play this standstill here because we're already at the point of the game where we're discarding cards anyway. How much do I care about that card? I don't think I care about that card at all. Again, I'm going to save my counter spells for their big, powerful enchantments. And we're just going to cast a massive Decree of Justice over the next 2 turns. Assuming they don't make me use my mana for something else. And by massive, I mean I get 4 tokens, but that's fine. Forget on Moto, I gotta click that first. That's another counter spell. We can be a little bit more gingerly with our counter spells now. Also keep in mind that these clocks say 36 minutes and 35 minutes. That's because Moto doesn't allow you to set casual tournaments to 25. If at either point either of us get down to 15 minutes, we time out by the tournament rules. If our opponent plays practically anything here, I'd counterspell it. I'm not going to counterspell that. That's the type of thing I'd rather use my Swords of Plowshare on. So we're going to get all of our tokens. We're just going to try to win over the next few turns. Not going to let them block. So this one is the one that's newly controlled. So, whoops. I don't want to attack both of you. I only want to tap the back one. So, turn you into a creature by tapping you. So we have a mana leak and a hard counter spell. And we can pump there if they blocked with the Granger, which they did not. So we're just going to try to do this over the next couple turns. There's only 3 cards in their hand. Pretty fine letting them resolve anything that's not an enchantment, so I'm probably not going to use this absorb on actual anything that's not an enchantment. Maybe a deranged hermit. Wait. Oops. So I'm going to offer them to trade for the Granger this time. And we will be casting Standstill this... Actually, I'm not going to offer them to trade. That was a play mistake. I should have counted my mana better. Yeah, I should have counted my mana better. That was a play mistake, but I still want to hold 2 counter spells up. If I played that differently, I should have played the Adakar Waste as well. They have nothing in their graveyard of value. I guess we still try to counterspell it. But yeah, that was a bit of a play mistake. Been playing a little loosely over these last few turns. For sure. And we have Forbid with buyback. I'm happy to trade this for a Granger at this point. If nothing else, it's a mana I get to save every turn. Okay, we got game 1. Alright, so let's look at their sideboard. Their sideboard is 2 Pyroblasts, which is a big deal. 1 Mastercore, 3 Pernicious Deeds, Phantomness Shoba, Morkaball Therapies. They have no recurable way to destroy enchantments. So that makes my humility a little bit better, but I still don't think I want the humility. Definitely want the disenchant, definitely want the seal cleansing, probably want the dismantling blow. I wonder if I actually want a nulls on the play, because it stops turn 2 survival. It was still in library as well. Maybe I just have enough different ways to kill it that I can't stress over that. It's harder for us to get them under a standstill lock on the draw. So I believe I can cut a standstill. I can probably actually cut more standstills. I think I cut a second standstill. I kind of want to try these annuls. I'm a little hesitant to think these annuls are good, but like maybe they are. 4 mana feels like a lot. Maybe I never want to draw all of these. Again, this is the first time I'm playing this format, so that's why there's a little indecisiveness in how I'm trying to sideboard. Let's try this. I really want that Factor Fiction back. I want it over one of these 3 mana counter spells, but I'm not sure which one. Maybe this way. Alright, well, we do get to see if these annuls are going to be good enough. That's kind of cool. That is actually quite powerful. I always like the art on this version of this card. I really like old school arts in general. Card's drawn so well. Oh, I didn't realize John Avon drew the 9th edition one of these. Yeah, if we win, we get $5 store credit. And a chance to play for an additional 30. If we lose, we still have a chance to play for 5. Our opponent can max win 5, and they have to win this round and next. Probably don't want the second disenchant. But it's kind of cool. Like, all of these events are free for just the Twitch Prime. The Mythic store. The one I just linked with the metagame. Ooh, that's pretty good. They're really awesome. They have a lot of... So they have a Twitch channel, and if you sub to their Twitch channel, you get free entry into all of their events for, you know, that month or whatever. And they just have so many awesome events, including a 1K historic next week. It's 1K. It's a 1K store credit, but I mean, still, it's like 350 to first, I think, or 250 to first. I'm not sure, but they're pretty awesome. Last week they did a 500 set roulette, which was pretty awesome. But no, really cool website. I don't know who owns the store, but I know like Pascal Maynard is like one of the faces of their events or whatever. And he's somebody I've always followed on Twitter, and I think has just a wonderful attitude and stuff, so makes it real easy to be a fan. Guess I'm going to take the Swords of Plowshare because it gets me the Mana Leak back anyway. It was that or just taking a Mana Leak. So I think these events are awesome. There's another trial historic tomorrow. All the 4-0s get 35 credit. All the 3-1s get 5 credit. And again, all of this just takes like, you know, a $5 sub to their Twitch channel, or, you know, just your Twitch Prime or whatever. It's pretty lit in my humblest of opinions. So we don't want to lose a land. Play that one. We can impulse into a counterspell. Yeah, that just resolves. We have a disenchant. I guess we'll take the decree. We already have some lands. Well, you have duress and cabal therapy, and then you have like mesmeric fiend and stuff. Like clearly they're not as good as Inquisition of Kozilek or Falsies, but like duress is no slouch. I kind of just want to let that resolve too and save the null for a recurring nightmare at some point. At the moment, they're not even showing an additional green mana. Yeah, I agree with Kevin. So they can find something pretty nice here. Genesis is pretty awesome. We kind of need a Swords of Plowshare for that. Somewhat stat. Well, honestly, not that stat. We have several chump blockers in our Decree of Justices. I'm not going to counterspell Genesis, like I don't want it under a graveyard. I would rather it just be in play and take 4 damage a turn. So we're looking for lands and an STP. Well, we're going to get some number of lands. So choose a pile to our hand. Make sure we do it right this time since we clicked the wrong one last time. And I'm perfectly fine taking 4 damage for a few turns. Setting behind our counter spells and stuff. If our life total ever gets in threat, we can Decree of Justice at the end of one of these turns to get a couple of blockers, prevent 4 damage a shot or something. But we're kind of executing what our game plan is at the moment. All right, well, they knew about Disannul. They saw it earlier with the Mesmeric Fiend, so they could have a plan of just trying to get it out of our hand for something. We're probably going to get offered this or all of these lands. Surprisingly, I'll take all of the lands. Surprising to no one that can see our hand anyway. So we still have double counterspell here. I'm perfectly fine taking 4 damage a few more turns. Your life total is a resource. You don't have to panic just because you're being attacked. It's fine. Nope. Could make 2 4/4s, but during our next turn. But I don't think that's something I'm interested in. I think I'm interested in just making like 5 tokens. Probably be the last turn that I just take this. If you go to this website right here, you can see like what a typical rock deck would look like, Dumbo. They got some Ravenous Baloffs and just like a variety of cool things. It's basically the old decks from that era. It's not the Swords of Plowshare that I've dreamed about. That is, however. Alright, well, we're going to try to turn the corner here and start just attacking now. Because we are now running out of time. We'll not save any of our things. That's nothing we care about. The Blastoderm's really big as well. So they still have 3 cards in their hand. We could have a problem this game. Alright, well, JK. Problem averted. Yeah, they have Treetop Village as well. Apparently Kevin knows more about this format than I do. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever played a pre-modern event. But we'll go ahead and pull up our sponsors store. Apparently I didn't even know this format was a format before like 2 or 3 days ago. And seems like it's actually quite a popular format. Quite a few people have mentioned it to me or like come to the stream directly to see it, but where's the rock at? So like this, I'm not saying this is the 75 you should play, but like this is the typical-ish type cards, you know. Ravenous Baloffs, Blastoderms, Treetop Villages with like a variety of moval and Recurring Nightmares, just amazing. Living Wishes to go get, you know, a Masticore or a Genesis, you know, whatever, or you know, a Deranged Hermit or a variety of like of those type of threats out of your sideboard. And then a few things like there's even like a there's a Bone Shredder and an Uktaba Orangutan to give you even like a toolbox fill for your sideboard. Plague Spitter's pretty cool, but like so this is a but this is just like an idea of a build. So there's only one match outstanding right now, and then we'll get to play the finals. So we probably won't play any historic between this round. Yeah, nostalgia is one of the main things I wanted to try. Like I couldn't not play Standstill, but I also really wanted to play Goblins. Like I loved Goblins back in the day. My last paper PTQ top 8 was with Goblins when they had Effort Vials and stuff. But it's cool. I want to try this Turbolands deck a lot too because I made one of my friends actually quit Magic with Turbolands. He got so mad that I just played at every event. Devour combo's cool. You said Dead Guy L, I'll pop it up too. The website that these are linking to, it's pretty cool. But like this is my jam. I really wanted to try this. You get to play the old school Morphling. Like how cool is that? Dead Guy L again, pretty cool. Just a big control deck. You get to break out the old school hippies and then Tuco Shades. Like this format's just pretty cool. Yeah, I will say ignore where this says tier A, tier B, and tier C. Ignore that. Pascal said specifically that he's actually not played a single game of this format, so this is just eye test without playing. But like, it's a good starting base, like a really good starting base. Storm looked cool. I really want to give Storm a try as well. Also, keep in mind that they are a ban list for this format. So that's something to keep in mind when you're building your decks. Like you can't play Earthcraft, Obviously, you can't play Goblin Recruiter in a format where Goblin Lackey's legal. Force of Will's banned, unfortunately. Well, I guess that's actually good that Force of Will's banned. Some of the fast mana's banned, but so they are a ban list to keep in mind. But if you just go to MTG Melee and then look up the tournament organizer, the Mythic Society, they'll have links to all of this stuff. But yeah, so this is pretty awesome, and I actually think this format's fun. I think this format might take off. We got paired versus a ATOG deck earlier that was pretty awesome. Let's see how close this one is to it. The ATOG deck we got paired versus had Psychotogs, Quirion Dryades, so this is just the more standard one. But the one we got paired versus had Psychotogs, Quirion Dryades, Meddling Mages, Mox Diamonds, Armageddons, then all of the cantrips. The Peaks, the Sleight of Hands, the Portents. Then it had Counter Spells, Dazes, Fire and Ices. Like, it was awesome. I really want to try that deck. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to try to stream all of the trials for the Mythic Society that I play. Like, I really, really like Mythic Society in general. So I might be able to pull up the list I'm talking about. Yeah. So this is the list we got paired versus last round, and they had some mana troubles. It's a 17 land deck with 4 Mox Diamonds, and I had Disenchants for the Mox Diamonds for game 1. But like this deck just looks super fun. It probably can't outgrind any of the black-green decks because they have so much removal and so many ways to block. But like, in general, it just seemed really, really awesome. I wonder if you just threw like a Wonder in the deck to discard to a Psychotog at some point for your graveyard to fly over recurring nightmare stuff, if that would be good enough. But no, this deck was awesome. I think they might have called decks like this Miracle Grow or something. I'm not exactly sure, so I can link the event, I think, and you might not be able to see the deck lists that got played today until after the tournament. I'm not sure, but they should be here, and I'll see if I'm already in the event, so I can see them. So, but I assume everybody will be able to see them in the end, and some people didn't put in their deck list name, but yeah, they should be open deck lists already, so you can see like all of the decks that are 2-0 at the moment, or I guess technically, you can go to round 3 and see who won these matches and see the ones that are 3-0. But yeah. Oh, Growatog. Gotcha. Astro Slide was 2-0. Draco Blast. I remember these decks back in the day. The Radic Explosion Draco 16U. They were pretty fun. Hypnotic Specters. But yeah, so what I just linked should be a place to go look at the deck list for today. Or I'm sure what Kevin linked works as well. Probably works better than even the list I linked. So we're waiting on one match right now. Yeah, the pattern Rector deck looked pretty cool too. Let me go back up here and open. What was it? This while we're talking. I really need to have all of these links on the other stream to pull forward for when we can play. Sorry, that's set roulette. So the pattern Rector deck looked pretty cool. It's just got all sorts of cool things. We get to play the sweet Phyrexian Tower. I'm wanting to try Phyrexian Tower in Goblins and Historic, because like, I think it'll give me a higher percentage chance to have a turn 3 Muxus, but like, how many games is me not drawing a red land going to potentially cost me? But it's something I definitely want to try. It's something I saw on Oliver 2's list last night when he was streaming. And just like turn 3 Muxus or turn 4 Muxus is wild. You can probably get so yeah. The old pattern of Rebirth. It's off the screen a little bit. I love the art on that card. Take care, Kevin, and thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you Thank you for the nice kind words. I wanted to try Blue White Replenish as well, just because this is a deck I played a whole lot when it was standard legal at one point. Like, Fanatic Search is just a ridiculous Magic card. I'm amazed that it's not banned. Careful Study was always one of my favorite cards. Speaking of one of my favorite cards and one of my favorite decks of all time, I don't think they have it here. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have it here, but let me see if I can pull it up at the TC thingy. Bookmarks. Is this the bookmark? Nope. That's the deck I'm playing. No! Ah! Clicked the wrong button. Did I click Premodern? Alright. Thanks, Felder Griffey. There's one more round if anybody cares. Where's the deck list I was looking for? There's a Blue-Green Madness deck list. Oh, there it is. Was there really? I want to try this deck too, just because I played this deck for so many years. Like, I think this deck's pretty awesome as well. Circular Logics, Mana Leaks, the old Wild Mongrel. Like, I draft this in Vintage Masters draft a lot, and I enjoy it. But yeah, it's a pretty fun format. Again, there's only one outstanding match, so we could go play a little Historic, but it seems like a lot of the people in the chat don't like the Historic at all. So we could just sit here and talk, or maybe I need to find a Flash game or something to play for when there's a little bit of dead air. Because nobody wants to listen to me talk. But the formats are fun. There's no top 8s for the trials, so let me pull up the trial structure real quick. Wait, sorry. So there's no top 8s for the trials. The way the trials works is just a flat payout of just a flat payout of $35 store credit to the 4-0s and a $5 store credit to the 3-1s. However, there are larger weekend events like the 1K. The 1K will have coverage, but it's 1K paid out to the entire top 8. But the 1K will have coverage, so, and there'll be a top 8 for it. And the set roulettes that they have, which are pretty awesome too. Can I find my deck list? Where's it at? So the set roulette things they do were like, they roll sets and then you build your decks out of it. They're always with top 8 as well and almost always have coverage. But unfortunately, it's all store credit. So, and the store is located in Canada and they only ship to North America or the United States. So that can cause some problems for foreign players in terms of collecting prizes or whatever. But like, I do not know if they'll do that. I do not work for them. As of now, there is none on the schedule. As of right now, the only thing on the schedule is there's going to be another set roulette next month, and then the 1K Historic this month, and then the trials that they did Standard on Monday. They're doing Historic tomorrow, and they did Premodern today. If it catches on and a lot of people like it, there's a good chance that they'll do it, but like, I don't know that they will. I'm not sponsored by them. I do not work for them or anything like that, so I have no idea their actual plans. I wish I could answer. They do a show once a week where they talk about the things happening in Magic and they look at and respond to chat some, but like you could go to Twitter and ask them if they have any plans for it. Like if enough people show interest, I'm sure it'd be something they'd be down to do. They have pretty cool people that do casting too, because like for the set roulette last weekend, Jarvis U, V, Zvi Mahorshowitz, and I probably pronounced that wrong, and I'll probably pronounce the following wrong. Caroline Kavanaugh, all three did coverage, and it was pretty awesome. But yeah, it's a really cool series. I highly suggest checking them out on their coverage page Sunday if it's something you're interested in. Speaking of which, I believe Mana Traders will be doing coverage on Saturday, and there's a good chance that I'll stream the SCG Championship thing Saturday as well. I'm not sure. Still one match outstanding. Maybe we should be playing or Historic or something. But yeah, sorry, I ramble a lot, especially. I ramble a lot in general, but I especially ramble a lot when, like, trying to talk to my Twitch chat, trying to keep things active and uh, keep people hanging around. Oh, also for anybody who cares, I post all of my content on YouTube as well. So, like, after the stream, if you're interested in going back and checking out some matches that you missed or whatever, they'll be on YouTube, which is, the same as my Twitch chat. It's just youtube.com/Steersist. Alright, I've only now got back into streaming. I used to stream a couple of years ago, and I streamed 955 days in a row without taking a break. And it burnt me out big time. So I'm just now getting back into it. And I have a few health problems. I'm trying to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right now, but like I missed yesterday because I felt bad. But I play a good amount of the formats. Like I play Modern, Historic, Pioneer, and Standard. Every now and then I dabble a little in Vintage, Legacy, or Pauper, but they're clearly not my best formats. And now we're trying a little bit of Historic and a little bit of Premodern too. Historic especially is a format I want to learn because there's the 1K this Sunday, and then there's the Arena Open for 2K next Sunday, or I guess next weekend technically. So like, two pretty fairly hefty prizes for Historic coming up. Yeah, I've got a feeling that pre-modern will end up being my favorite format too. The more I play of it, like I said, I seem pretty uneducated talking about it right now because this is the first. I've only known about the format for 3 to 5 days, something like that. And this is the first time I've ever played it, but like the nostalgia is overwhelming me. I started playing Magic in 1993, so like I actually played when all of this stuff was top two legal and back when it was 1.5 and extended legal. So like the nostalgic is waving over me. So like I can already tell you I love this format. I hope it's balanced and plays well. Yeah, I think it's uncharted territory too. And like I said, you can go look at the website that they just mentioned, the TC Decks or whatever, and see that like quite a few different places are playing for it. And like today, I think there was 19 or 20 people in this event. That was more than the standard the other night. All right. Anyway, we have our finals opponent. So we'll go ahead and check in. And again, I didn't build this deck. This is just a net deck I took. And we are playing versus a mirror match. It's a 75 card mirror, so this should be kind of interesting. It's a good chance one of us times out or whatever. So if you're, we got to get our opponent to check in and then get them connected. This is going to be an interesting match. I have no idea how to play out. Do like one of us time out, or do we mill each other? So I'm messaging our opponent, getting ready for the next match. they're not responding yet. They're not checked in, so they might be away from their keyboard getting a drink or something. So this says, so I got pared down this match. So my opponent's playing for $5 store credit. I'm playing for $30 store credit. A little uneven, but everything's completely free entry for these. Well, I apologize if you're subbed to their Twitch chat. So like, even if I lose, no one cares. But anyway, so we'll try to do our best here. And it is a mirror match, and I have no idea how this mirror match will play out. We'll play first. I wonder if we're actually supposed to draw, but I'm going to keep. This hand seems good. Yeah, I would love to win, obviously, but if I lose, I don't care. It's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty sure I just slammed Standstill. So this is, to my knowledge, the first time that they've done Premodern, so I have no idea what it will be. But the standard and the historics have been weekly, though. Well, it's not even so like for this month, I've got standard and historic all 4 weeks. Then there was the set roulette 500, 500 credit to the top 8, and then there was the historic 1K that'll be this weekend, and then there's this modern event as well, or sorry, pre-modern event as well. So for this week alone, I'm going to get 11 events for the $5 sub, and that's just ridiculous, I think. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to slam Standstill. Yeah, they're very respectable. I don't know who actually owns the Mythic Society store, but like Pascal Maynard seems to be the face of their company, and he. Oh well, maybe I was just not supposed to slam Standstill whatsoever because I can die to this so easily. I didn't think about that. See, I've already punted here just not knowing the decks. But like he has a wonderful attitude. I love his content. So good people all around, in my opinion. So I feel like I've already punted pretty substantially. Yeah, I've definitely already punted pretty substantially. I'm going to go ahead and kill this. It destroys a land. It lets them draw 3 cards. But they've already played their land for the turn, so they're going to have to discard 2 of them. But I should have never played the Standstill without at least my own factory. So that was just 100% an error on my behalf. But when you're brand new to a format, it's going to take some getting used to and stuff. But yeah, I really like the Mythic Society people so far. Gonna try to pop this off at the end of turn. I don't think I care a great deal if they counterspell it. Probably want to go ahead and pick up this decree. Maybe I'm supposed to play the floated strand there. the moment I'm just kind of waiting till I don't have a land drop and then planning on using the Flooded Strand. Definitely not going to let him have a Fact or Fiction. Oh, that's actually a pretty good card. We're going to hold that one as long as we can and not let them see it. I think we're definitely going to pop the Decree of Justice this turn, though. Probably play the Dust Bowl next turn and potentially just start killing their lands, too. Oh wow, my computer chair sounds like it's going to break. I'm so big, it's crying. So we get 4 things here. Love to find more counter spells. So we're going to stop on our opponent's draw step. And then we're going to kill this during their draw step. So if they have a land, a Wrath of God, and a counterspell, that would suck. To give them a chance just to draw another, to give them a chance to draw another basic. Oh, I guess there's no real reason. I see what you're saying now. Never mind, just ignore me. I'm so used to Field of the Dead. I'm so used to Field of the Dead. That's my excuse. I'm so used to Field of the Dead. I feel like I'm in rough shape. Wait, I don't want to tap those for that. Hopefully they don't have anything great. Looks like they do. Oh, boo, they had double STP. So it's a 7-turn clock right now. We don't have any spells to play anyway. Guess I'll kill that. They draw a Decree of Justice. We're basically dead, right? Guess we don't attack this turn and just cycle our Decree. They could have just had a Decree of Justice and maybe been planning, but... Like, I don't know. It seems like they made the same mistake I made, though. Is what it feels like, anyway. Very much feels to me like they made the same mistake I did. Yeah, Standstill is definitely an awesome card. So I might even be able to get a counterspell here, and we did. They could have a counterspell back. That's fine. Well, we're definitely going to cast our Standstill. I'd say for a lot of the people in this tournament, like myself, this is the first pre-modern event we've played, or the first time we've played with a lot of these cards in a significant number of years. So our play in general may not be super optimal, but we're having fun and we're learning. Two key things for Magic, in my opinion. I guess I'm going to Mana Leak that. We still have an actual hard counter spell. Alright, nice. We got game one. Alright, so game 2 and 3. It's pretty safe to say that we don't want humility ever. Well, you saw me playing versus the second Recurse Survival deck, and I played versus Recurse Survival round 1, so I think I learned a lot in round 1, which helped me be a little bit better at round 2, but like the Standstill play I made this particular game was just really, really bad in all honesty. Like, I kind of still feel bad about it. Don't really feel like we need that card. Nulls don't really seem like they're good enough either. Like, do I want to bring a Nulls in just for Standstills? Like, that feels kind of thin. But, like, a lot of these cards in general feel kind of thin. You're probably better than the Disenchant. I probably want you to. Like, I'm pretty sure Mishra's Factories are artifacts, right? Yeah. If I'm bringing in ways to kill... Maybe the mana leaks just aren't very good. Feels like our game plans are revolving around these lands more than anything. And then, like, resolving a few of these other spells, but, like, not all of these other spells. I don't really want to get rid of Wrath of God either because of the Decree. I really just don't know. This Mailing Blow just costs too much mana. I kind of just want to take a Standstill out. take out any of the cantrips because like missing land draws feels really, really, really relevant. So we have some stuff. Definitely going to impulse in the first free opportunity I get. So for all of these impulses, we're probably going to try to get a land. I like, by the way, how I played a white mana instead of a blue mana because I feel like casting Disenchanted Swords of Plowshare is a heck of a lot more relevant than needing Counterspell this turn. Though in all honesty, I would try to Counterspell a Standstill on this turn. So it's not without its merits. Speaking of which, I think I just kind of want to take this Dust Bow. Dust Bow gives me outs to them having a Standstill. And it's a land, which is what I primarily just want to take with all of my draws right now. Similarly, I'm not going to play the Flooded Strand because I don't want to remove lands from my deck yet. I want to just draw as many lands as I can, especially when I have a Dust Bow. So I'm going to get to kill a land here. This is pretty awesome. If I played the Flooded Strands, I'd get to save my Counterspell if I wanted. I don't want to put my Dust Bow on the table yet because I'm not using it this turn. So I think I want to play the Flooded Strand like that. And maybe they'll go for an attack with a Counterspell up. That's what I want them to do. I really want them to send this factory. Forbid, another Impulse, and a Mishra's Factory. It's hard for me not to take the land. So they could play Factor Fiction right now, which would be a bit of an issue. I know I'm supposed to take a Counterspell because of Factor Fiction, but I just don't know how worried I am about Factor Fiction. You can have your Manlands or your Standstill. I'm not worried about the Mana Leaker to Standstill. I think there's a reasonable chance that I'm not even trying to resolve a spell the rest of the game. That isn't maybe a Wrath of God very late. I think I should have played the Plains. Oh, so they drew another? It's fine. Okay. You can have your man land or the rest. If he takes the rest, they're going to have to discard cards for their turn anyway. I do not think I'm in very good shape right now. I think it'll be hard to mill anybody with Decree of Justices in our deck. But yeah, I don't like how I've played this game in general. I think I've made really bad choices on basically both factor fictions. So we know they have these 4 cards. And 5 others. So we got rid of a Standstill and an Adakar Waste. Definitely not attacking with the factory anytime soon, so I think I just play the planes. Oh, they had the other factory too. Oh, so they brought in a Knolls. Hmm. I think these are the best 2 cards. It's probably the best card. Well, they took the pile we wanted them to take, for whatever that's worth. It's fine. Don't care about that. We have multiple disenchants and stuff. I think I'm going to use that. Wait, how'd I do that? I don't think I'm going to use that this turn. I think I want to make sure I keep the 2 wide as long as I can, just in case they do have a decree. Because we know that they have like a lot of really good cards in their hand. It's going to be very hard for us to beat a decree. That's fine. I'm not going to just play into a... I don't think I can play that. We don't have a decree or anything. Opponents already showed us that they play a Knolls as well. Could just use this now. Go ahead and let them mana leak it or whatever. I need to start worrying about the clock. If these games go excessively long, it could matter. There's only 13 minutes left for our opponent, 15 for us. Is this something I care about? I keep my basics. Alright, well, we have a second Wrath of God now, which is nice. We'll save this disenchant, I think. Since our factory can't really attack anyway because of the swords. And I don't want to cast the Standstills because if they just have Decree, we're in trouble. I feel like this game is the first person to draw Decree is going to have a big advantage. So we're going to have to discard this turn? So they brought in all the annulls. Which land did they just play? Play the plains. So we got rid of both conclaves already? And we got rid of 2 of the factories? I might actually kill their Adhikar Waste at the end of their next turn. Nothing else that makes their Decree smaller when they play it. Yeah, that's fine. There's a chance that I disenchant the Seal Cleansing this turn as well. And potentially try to resolve a something. Maybe I'm supposed to go for a Standstill now? I really just don't think I'm supposed to go for a Standstill until I draw a Decree. Well, you can only kill the non-basics. We can't ever kill their basics. So no matter what, they're going to have those 7 basics there. Alright, so this is one of the big issues. Let's start with this. See what we're given. At that point, I'll take the blue cards. Interesting. It's a bit wasteful. Um, we're going to have a lot of counter spells to try to protect this. By a lot, I mean only 2. Only 2 more, I mean. Obviously, we have all 3, but we have 2 real counter spells. Unfortunately, this mana leak will never do anything, really. But that's all of it. Still have both of these in hand. I need to draw another white source. It's not another white source. So we know they have a counter spell. And since they didn't do that, I'm going to imagine they just have the other decree. They don't have the other decree. Interesting. Well, we know about a forbid, don't we? I've never played a dust bow here. I'll start trying to kill the Adakar Waste so we don't get one shot. Oh, they drew a dust bow as well. Alright, well, let's start with this. Sack our Adakar Waste, we don't want to be taking pain anyway. Then I assume they're going to use this. And whatever they kill, we will probably sack for a waste. So we're targeting my Adakar Waste that's already tapped. Wait, whoops. Fury, that's good. I'm basically dead now. If they have anything ever. So we're going to proceed to let them show me. We know they have some number of Swords of Plowshares. Probably some number of disenchants. They only have 13 cards left in their library, and if they draw a Decree of Justice, the game's over, so. Us gaining life here is not that bad either. It'll give us one more turn later. It's 10 turn clock. Unfortunately, we die a lot faster than 10 turns. Unless we draw our own. We're 20 cards deep though, not drawing one, so. Yeah, we gotta be getting close. Speaking of which, we know what we're playing next this turn. So I've not saw. We see some mana leaks from them, some counter spells. The only thing we've not saw is Wrath of Gods. So I'm wondering if they sideboarded any of these out. I need to count my lands. So we have 4, none in our graveyard, 5, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So there's still planes left. Pretty sure I'm just going to attack for 6 now. We can actually trade damage with them for a turn or two, so even if they have it, it's not that big of a deal. So they have a Wrath of God. Alright, we're definitely going to fight this. Start with this. Willing to put both mana leaks out there if I need to. So now we know that we're going to get the attack for 10 next turn. Alright, nice. Opponent gave us the OGGs. So nice, we got the nice 4-0 there. I was worried that entire match, but we both got pretty unlucky and didn't draw very many Decree of Justices. Like, 9 cards left in their library, 16 cards left in my library, and we've both only played 1 Decree. So, that's pretty cool. This format was awesome and very fun. Wait, bring us our deck list back. So, pretty excited about that. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I played versus 1 Mirror, 1 Growatog, and like 2 Survival Recur decks. Pretty excited. Like, I really hope they run this event back next week. I really would like to draw or play it again. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Sorry, it took just a moment. My opponent was talking to me. Alexandre Livernoche. Alexandre is an awesome name, but Yeah, it was definitely a fun match. I really feel like they outplayed me that game too, but I just got lucky that they didn't draw decrees. It's super important. I wonder if a fourth decree in the sideboard would be enough or be worth it. But anyway, so it was a pretty long stream for today. It's about 3 hours to play these 4 rounds, but these matches were pretty awesome. I may or may not be back later with a Star City Games qualifier. It's hard for me to say. But anyway, I'm going to hop off now and thank all of you for chatting with me and keeping me company today. And take care, everybody. Well, actually, hold on. Apparently, I missed a question from Dumbo. Oh, he asked Kevin the question, not me. And managing your resources. Yeah, I can totally see that. But anyway, like I was saying, thank you all so much for coming by. And if you're interested in rewatching any of these games or watching rounds that you may not have saw, check out my YouTube channel tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and we'll be back at least tomorrow and maybe tonight.